Good evening. I wanted to get a video of the garden before Aidan um, comes with the weed whacker and the lawnmower. I wanted you to see how high the grass has gotten. And that's the lemon tree over there. That's a gallon pot. And see how high it is. I mean, just look at how high everything is. We've had some nice warm weather, and everything has just sort of like taken that water and gone absolutely crazy. So there's all the coleus, and it's like right out in the path. The coleus on this side, new branches and everything have sprouted up from the bougainvillea. Lots and lots of flowers. Well, of course, with the bougainvillea, that's the flower in there. And then finally, this is starting to come back. We're getting some of the pink. So I'm quite happy about that. But yeah, we did my dad's yesterday, and that took a while. And I've come out and I've done some trimming. More pruning than anything else. I've been trying to deadhead as I've been going along, so we are getting lots of buds on the rose bushes and such, but I try to keep up on that. I've been letting the coleus flower a lot because of the fact that I haven't been able to get out and take the flowers off to put the energy into the leaves, but it hasn't seemed to make it very much difference because with all the rain, as soon as it got warm, everything just started to pop. So yeah, there's a lot to do. So the grass is halfway up the compost bin. The areas where we walk, it's trampled down a wee bit. We have this zinnia that started coming out, and columbine right here, and that's Rose of Sharon hibiscus. I think that one's white. And then the frangipani has started to flower. Down here we got a lot to do as well. You see we got some coleus down there and some pawpaws. The hydrangea has just gone crazy. I think I might air layer that a bit. We have, I think that's a squash right there. And over on this side, I've put some of this was the Easter lily. I put the Easter lilies that we used for Easter on the graves into the garden. And as you can see, each year as I do that, they come back. So those are the ones I think from last year that got planted in this garden. And that's the watermelon growing up a piece of garden twine, and the coleus in this area going crazy. We have a couple of cuttings for roses there to experiment to see how they're going to work. And here's the peony pot. This is the morning lilac Ito peony. I'm just letting the leaves gather as much sun. I wasn't expecting any peonies to flower this year, but we did have the I think it was the Duchess de Nemours, the white one. So I do have zinnia in here, and that right there, it looks as if we've had some damage, but I think that I want to say that is a Rebecca, I hope. And then up here we do have okra right here, and the this is the parsley hanging on for dear life. And then let's look at this. This is a frangipani, and it is a beautiful pink. And in this little garden, usually nothing grows in here. The soil is just so bad. But I just, hopefully, I wanted to make it as much like a country garden, so I was just going to let it be all coleus. The daylily that's in there seems to have either been eaten by ants or have died. This is the pink the pink poinsettia from 2021. That's still alive. And then I've just put in like Gara and things like that. That is the pincushion flower. And then we actually have the Luna hibiscus coming back. So I'm quite happy with this little garden. So now we just need to use the weed whacker around it. And hopefully that'll be nice. All the calla lilies still in this area. I have not been able to fertilize anything because of all the rain. So we probably need some fertilizer in some of this. This is the lemon tree that Seamus grew from seed. This is probably about 3 years now. And then here we have our Seven Sisters rose. And as you can see in there, there's some coleus trying to make it out of there, but the grass has grown so much. And you can see the grass is up to the bottom of the coop. This area, it used to be a holding area. Now it's just coleus all over the place. That is a guava, pink guava, I think. And I'm trying to let that grow up. And we have, this is, I think, Liam's corn that he was growing at school. We just put it in a bigger pot and it looks like it's desperately trying to survive. This is the grapevine in this pot right here. And we have that pink climbing rose. And we have, it looks as if we still have sweet pea here. Seamus's garden. We've actually cut off the sunspot sunflower because 3 additional flowers came up and they were, you know, smashed up against the sunflower. So I've just cut that off. The sunflower head is over here. But so now we have this little 3 flowers coming out the top. And his garden keeps going. We've had runners off of the strawberry plants, so I cut those today and put them in the strawberry pot. But they're still developing strawberries. We have the next sunspot that was planted by here. So that's the succession planting that he's been doing. The carrots are still going. Looks like we've lost the cucumber, so I need to cut that back next. But his flowers, we still have cosmos and the snapdragons. The eggplant is still here. Still have the snow peas, sweet peas going. And then you can see here where the roof has put the water down into this section. So it's put a lot of water in this area of the garden. So we've probably lost a lot of that, but lots of coleus growing in this area. More growing down there. You can see, and there's a itty bitty little rose plant over there, but everything's overgrown with grass. The jasmine plant seems to be setting up new leaves and such, which is really nice. Oh, and we do have some grapes on the grapevine. We need to cut back this pigeonberry. All the coleus under it, you can barely see it at the moment. And then here we have the fig, and we have the Seamus's apple. This is another, I think this is herbaceous peony in here. Again, just collecting energy. And we have cosmos in there with it. This is a tree peony, and I was surprised that it actually sent up leaves, so I'm just trying to keep that going. Here is the strawberry pot, and I've put in lots of the runners in there. This is the other fig right here, and we're losing the kale, but the tomatoes are doing rather well, so I'll leave that. Those are the trees that I think this is the one that I think that one won the award in the ag show, whereas that one didn't. I think I may need to fertilize those. That one hasn't grown very much. And then over in this corner, this is the Rose of Sharon hibiscus. As you can see here, with all the rain, I need to put more soil on top of the roots. We have, this is another Easter lily from a previous Easter that's been put into the garden, and it's actually put up a flower this year. And the coleus, looks like the gumfrina is finally starting to send out flowers next to our lantana. And that's I got that one because there was an awful lot of pink flowers on that one, more pink than red. And then we have the yellow lantana over here next to the pentas. And our Bermudiana's gone to seed, as you can see here. And I'll let it go all over the garden before I cut those back. This pot's been looking lovely. As you can see here, we have, you know, this peachy apple blossom one, and then we have the night and day, and then we have the pink and white over here, and I have a zinnia growing up in the middle, and then we still have milkweed for the monarch butterflies. And again, Bermudiana has gone to seed here. And on this side, let's see what's going on. So this pot, you can see there's the top of the copper kettle Ito peony. That one has got blown to smithereens. So we've lost the leaves from that one. Hopefully it'll come back. Coleus all in here, but you can't see it because of the pigeonberry. Gomphrina's coming up. That's the other Easter lily from this year. And then I need to deadhead that dahlia. More canes coming out for the Agrippina rose. This one again, as you can see here, this is herbaceous peonies in here, but they got blown to smithereens as well, but lots of cosmos and zinnias. Working on this area right now, put in a dahlia earlier, and then there's some zinnias down there. Looks like we have a hollyhock coming up. I need to cut these back. And then this is a very nice coleus that's starting to come up. And in this one, this is another tree peony, and that still has leaves, but around it we have the cosmos, and then that's chamomile. And then the gomphrina coming along here. I've cut off the top of this. This was the secondary sunflower that came out here. And then the shell roses. And then in this corner, I don't know what's going on. I put some blanket flower in there, and you can sort of see it has died back. And then here we have the second hydrangea putting up lots of flowers. And banana in the corner. And then the Chinese hibiscus. And then we still have this big pawpaw that hasn't done anything. And then we're growing up the hibiscus and cherry hedge, so we'll cut this even when the garden gets put together. And in here, the tomatoes have starting to put out flowers, but we also have those heart-shaped cherry tomatoes in this one. And then in the bottom, we have some herbs and such. These are blanket flowers I got this weekend that I need to figure out where we're gonna put them in the ground, but I'm not putting them anywhere until we cut everything back and see what space we have. Liam's plants that he bought back from school. And there's an okra plant. That's the parsley from the ag show. Rose from a cutting. And his strawberry from school. And then we have a new, this is a canna lily that we've grown from seed, from the seeds that came off of the canna lilies that are down by the wall. And then we have a couple of from pinching the tomato plants. We've taken some of those and put them in, and it looks like we have 3 plants that have taken so thus far. This is the blanket flower. There were 3 of them. I put one in the garden over here, one over in the side garden, which hasn't, seems to have died. And then this one, as seedlings have been coming up, I've been trying to put them in the ground. So I've been doing bits and pieces, you know, just and it seems like some things are coming up, but a lot of things may have been washed away due to the all the rain. Then down here, we've been getting lots of roses coming out. This is the Joseph's Coat rose. This is Liam's rose. And we didn't have very many roses in previous years. And this year, I think we've already had 3 of these. And then tons of Cecil Brunner roses. And those canes we've woven across. And I've been trying to do that whenever canes come up. I try to weave them into the trellis now. Lots and lots of snapdragons. We were hoping these were going to be pink belladonna lilies, and it turned out to be white spider lilies. So we're trying to make a decision whether we're going to plant them or return them and get the belladonna lilies. Lots of Easter lilies, albeit at the end of June. And look at that. That is still an absolutely gorgeous coleus. I've yet to put in the garden. And I have sweet peas in June. Yay! So I just need to weave them up again. And then this is some cuttings that I took from Mother's Day pot, and I took 3 leaves off, and I've managed to get roots on 2 of them. So one is in the backyard on the table, and this one is here. And then on the other side, we have a climbing rose that, as you can see, is sending up more canes and such. But I'm trying not to put it anywhere until I actually see what color the rose is. So we'll see what happens. This pot, the portulaca, is absolutely gorgeous. We have an okra right here because I had been planting peppers in this pot, and it hasn't done very well this year, so I decided to put an okra in there. At least the flowers are pretty, even though I don't like eating okra. Lots of stock in this pot, and this is another herbaceous peony pot. And then we have lots of different types of coleus around here. And then this is bacopa, more different type of portulaca there, and then more chamomile. Hello, Mr. Percy. How are you, little man? And we still have violas in here and dianthus. Down here you see we have a dahlia, and our shell rose is sending up more new growth and more buds right here. In here growing various little things, so we'll see what happens. This is supposed to be salvia right here. I think right here, what do we have? We have a daisy growing in this one. So I'm just leaving them and seeing what happens. I think this is catmint right here, and catmint over here as well. And then we have our pot of lavender, which is looking gorgeous. I've watered this pot. This is my old pot. My first hydrangea, I think it's 18 years old now. And this area right here, we have the coralita, and we have the black-eyed Susan vine growing in the midst of it. And then down here we have the Greek basil in this corner. Looks like we have I have no idea. That's a zinnia. So it looks like we have a zinnia down there. And Dusty Miller all in here. This is the herb pot, and all of this is from the ag show. I've transplanted it. So this is the kids' thyme and their oregano, and then this is an older rosemary in there. And then you can see here we put a few cuttings on in here to just put something. Seamus has grown this is from a loquat seed, so he's having fun with that. And then if I go on the other side, we're going to bother poor Mr. Percy. So we'll have to start looking around here after we cut, to see if there are any small cedar trees that we can put in a pot. to propagate. And then on this side, you can see I've started planting things on this side. So you can see there, that's a daylily, and then there is a dahlia right there next to it. That's the dahlia right there. The daylilies over there, and then there's a rose right there, and then we have the Gora and the dahlia right there. We have another rose in here. You can see there's a rose right, sorry about that. There's a rose in here, and then this is the pot for the pumpkins and the squash. So that seems to be starting to run. And then in here, Rose of Sharon hibiscus that's starting to leaf out. And then more Easter lilies. And then this is the reason why I want to look for if there are any small cedar trees on the ground, little seedlings, because all the cedar berries are currently out, and usually the birds will eat them as they ripen, and then they'll drop them and they'll get rid of the hard outside. If I wanted to try to plant these now, I'd have to use sandpaper and sand them down. And then lots and lots of hibiscus, and they're closing for the night. We have some Suriname cherries in here as well. This is probably the cherry tree that has some of the nicest cherries. And the double red hibiscus. And then our last little area full of coleus, because it's a shaded area, but we have a Luna hibiscus coming up. And then there is a Gora in there as well, and some, I think there's some Angelonia in there too. So this is what it looks like right now, totally overgrown. All of the jonquil greens, hopefully has collected enough energy so that it will flower next year. And we'll take a look and see what it looks like once we actually are able to clean up everything and mow the lawn and such. So looking forward to that, and I hope everyone has a wonderful evening and enjoy the sound of the tree frogs as we say good night. Have a wonderful evening.